Before beginning, it is useful to clarify a common assumption. Many Tesla owners believe that having fewer moving parts means long-term reliability largely manages itself. Electric vehicles, however, age differently, not automatically better. The most costly problems tend to develop gradually, often before alerts or clear symptoms appear. Tesla's own documentation notes that routine charging habits and operating conditions play a direct role in how the battery ages over time. This video focuses on understanding how everyday patterns influence battery health, system reliability, and long-term ownership confidence without changing how the vehicle is normally used. Habit number 1. Keeping daily battery use away from extremes. Tesla batteries operate most effectively when they are used within a moderate range rather than being pushed to full or near empty on a routine basis. This is not about restricting driving habits or tracking precise percentages. It reflects how batteries respond to repeated use patterns over time. When a battery remains very full or very low for extended periods, internal stress gradually increases, even if vehicle operation appears normal. Occasional full charges for longer trips or infrequent low states after extended use are expected and accounted for in the system's design. The more meaningful factor is daily behavior. Regularly charging to the upper end or allowing the battery to sit near empty places more strain on the system than keeping routine use closer to the middle range. These effects emerge slowly. Range and performance typically remain stable, and alerts are uncommon, while gradual change occurs over years. Consistency matters more than precision. A routine that generally avoids extremes allows the battery to age more evenly. Over long ownership periods, this approach supports steadier capacity retention without reducing convenience or flexibility. Habit number 2. Letting the car finish, managing itself after driving. After driving, particularly at higher speeds or in warm conditions, a Tesla may continue operating internal systems briefly after parking. Cooling processes can remain active to stabilize temperatures across components that are sensitive to heat. This activity is subtle, but contributes to reducing long-term thermal stress. Parking immediately after demanding driving is not harmful on its own. The concern arises when heat is repeatedly retained before the vehicle completes its temperature regulation. Heat-related stress rarely causes immediate issues. Instead, it accelerates gradual wear that accumulates quietly over time, potentially affecting components designed for long service life under controlled conditions. This habit does not involve additional steps or technical intervention. It is primarily a matter of awareness. Allowing the vehicle to complete its internal management process before full shutdown helps maintain stable operating conditions as mileage increases, supporting long-term reliability without requiring changes in driving behavior. Habit number 3. Treating fast charging as a tool, not a routine. Fast charging is a central feature of Tesla ownership, particularly for long-distance travel or time-sensitive situations. It delivers a large amount of energy quickly by applying higher electrical load to the battery, which generates more heat than slower home charging. This does not make fast charging harmful by itself. It places the battery under a different operating condition. Long-term battery health is influenced less by access to fast charging than by how frequently it becomes the default method. Occasional use aligns with the system's design. Regular reliance, especially for everyday charging, keeps the battery in higher temperature and voltage ranges more often. The effects are not immediate. Range and performance typically remain stable for extended periods, which makes the relationship easy to miss. A balanced approach is effective for most owners. Using home charging for routine needs and reserving fast charging for trips or scheduling constraints allows the battery to operate under lower stress most days. This treats fast charging as a practical tool rather than a constant routine and supports steadier battery aging over the vehicle's lifespan. Habit number 4. Allowing the car to prepare itself before fast charging. Batteries perform most efficiently within a defined temperature range. When temperatures fall outside that range, charging efficiency decreases, and stress on internal components increases. Tesla vehicles are designed to manage this automatically, but the system works most smoothly when it is informed in advance that fast charging is planned. Routing to a fast charger through the vehicle's navigation allows the system to prepare the battery before arrival. This process adjusts temperature gradually, instead of forcing rapid changes during the charging session. Without this preparation, temperature regulation and charging occur simultaneously, which reduces efficiency and increases localized heat. This habit does not require technical knowledge or additional steps. Navigation serves not only for directions, but also as input for internal management systems. Allowing the vehicle to condition the battery ahead of time leads to more even charging and reduced stress across repeated sessions, supporting long-term reliability without changing travel behavior. Viewers who find clear, practical guidance useful may choose to subscribe. Habit number 5. Not ignoring the small battery that runs everything else. While a Tesla is powered by a large high-voltage battery, many of the vehicle's most fundamental operations depend on a much smaller low-voltage battery. This system supplies power to critical electronics, including computers, communication modules, door locks, displays, sensors, and the components required to initialize the high-voltage system itself. If the low-voltage battery cannot provide stable power, the vehicle may be unable to wake up or respond, even when the main battery remains fully capable of driving the car. What makes this battery easy to overlook is how quietly it reaches the end of its service life. Unlike the main battery, its decline does not typically show up as reduced range, altered driving behavior, or gradual performance loss. In most cases, it functions normally until it abruptly does not. From the driver's perspective, the failure feels sudden because there is little visible warning beforehand. A car that operated without issue one day may fail to unlock, power screens, or activate systems the next. This is why preventive planning matters more than symptom-based response. Low-voltage batteries age continuously due to time, temperature exposure, and constant background demand, even when the vehicle is parked. Replacing them on a reasonable schedule is a preventive measure rather than a corrective one. Treating this battery as a standard wear component reduces the risk of unexpected interruption and supports consistent operation of the vehicle's electronic systems as years and mileage accumulate. Habit number 6. Maintaining braking systems. Even if you rarely use them, regenerative braking handles much of a Tesla's everyday deceleration, which significantly reduces mechanical wear on brake pads and rotors. Because of this, it is common for braking components to appear lightly used, even after long periods of ownership. However, limited pad wear does not fully reflect the condition of the braking system. Traditional hydraulic brakes remain essential, particularly during emergency stops, prolonged downhill driving, or situations where regenerative braking cannot provide sufficient deceleration. Brake fluid is a central element of this system, and its condition changes over time, regardless of how frequently the brakes are applied. As it ages, it gradually absorbs moisture from the surrounding environment. This alters how the fluid responds to heat and pressure, reducing consistency under demanding conditions. These changes are not typically noticeable during normal driving, which allows gradual degradation to continue without obvious signals. Maintaining the braking system is primarily about consistency rather than urgency. Periodic inspections and fluid service help ensure predictable response when braking demand increases unexpectedly. This does not require frequent attention or constant monitoring. It is a long-term reliability practice that accounts for components that age quietly. Addressing them on schedule helps ensure braking performance remains stable and dependable throughout the vehicle's lifespan. Habit number 7. Managing tire wear as a range and suspension issue. Tesla vehicles deliver power immediately and carry more overall weight than many gasoline-powered cars due to their battery packs. Together, these factors place higher and more consistent demand on tires during routine acceleration, braking, and cornering. Tire wear, in this context, is not only a maintenance concern or a matter of ride comfort, it directly influences how efficiently the vehicle moves and how forces are transferred through the suspension system. Uneven tire wear increases rolling resistance, requiring more energy to maintain the same speed. Over time, this added resistance can reduce overall driving efficiency and subtly affect usable range. At the same time, uneven wear often reflects or contributes to gradual alignment changes. As alignment drifts, loads are no longer distributed evenly across suspension components. Bushings, joints, and mounting points experience stress outside the range they were designed to handle consistently, which can accelerate long-term wear. Routine attention helps prevent these effects from compounding. Monitoring tire pressure, rotating tires at recommended intervals, and noting changes in steering response or ride quality help maintain balanced forces across the vehicle. These actions are straightforward and do not require specialized knowledge. Over long ownership periods, they support consistent handling, preserve suspension components, and help avoid the gradual efficiency losses that accompany unmanaged tire wear. Habit number 8. Keeping cabin airflow systems from working overtime. The cabin airflow system in a Tesla supports more than passenger comfort. It regulates temperature, humidity, and circulation throughout the vehicle interior. When airflow becomes restricted, the system must operate under higher load to maintain normal conditions. This added demand rarely produces immediate symptoms, but it increases long-term stress on components intended to function within stable operating ranges. Airflow restrictions most commonly develop as cabin filters accumulate dust, pollen, and debris. As resistance increases, fans compensate by running at higher speeds for longer periods. This leads to increased mechanical wear and can allow moisture to persist within the system. Over time, trapped humidity may contribute to reduced efficiency and persistent odors, even when temperature control appears to function normally during daily use. Preventive maintenance follows a straightforward principle. Clear airflow allows the system to operate efficiently without unnecessary strain. Replacing filters on a reasonable schedule helps maintain consistent circulation, supports stable humidity control, and reduces workload on motors and related components. Although this task is minor, it protects a system that operates continuously in the background and contributes to long-term reliability and cabin comfort. Habit number 9. Paying attention to ride changes before they become repairs. Tesla vehicles carry substantial weight, supported by suspension components designed to manage constant motion over long mileage. As these parts age, changes typically appear gradually rather than all at once. The earliest signs are often subtle differences in how the vehicle behaves on familiar roads. Because these shifts develop slowly, it is easy to adapt to them without recognizing that underlying conditions are changing. Minor noises, slight looseness, or small changes in steering response often indicate that certain components are no longer operating as precisely as before. These signs do not suggest an imminent failure. They reflect normal wear progressing over time. Addressing these changes early allows inspections and adjustments to take place while solutions remain straightforward, rather than after added stress has spread to related systems. Viewing inspections as a way to gather information, rather than as a reaction to a problem, keeps maintenance measured and predictable. A brief evaluation can confirm whether components remain within normal operating limits or whether attention will be needed later. This approach helps prevent minor wear from affecting tires, alignment, or steering systems, supporting consistent ride quality and long-term driving comfort. Habit number 10. Treating software updates as mechanical protection. In a Tesla, software directly governs how physical systems function. Charging behavior, battery temperature regulation, energy use, and component response under varying conditions are all managed through software. Updates are not limited to interface changes or new features. They often refine how the vehicle manages wear and protects itself over time. As the vehicle ages, updates may adjust charging behavior, improve thermal management, or recalibrate system responses to everyday conditions. These refinements help components operate more evenly and reduce unnecessary stress. Skipping updates rarely causes immediate issues, but it can result in missed improvements that support long-term consistency and stability. Installing updates does not require disruption to daily use. Scheduling them during overnight hours or extended parking periods allows the process to complete without inconvenience. Treating software updates as part of routine vehicle care keeps operating systems aligned with ongoing refinements. Over time, that alignment supports smoother operation and more predictable performance as mileage accumulates. Habit number 11. Understanding that cooling systems exist and matter. Electric vehicle batteries operate within a narrow temperature range to remain efficient and stable. To maintain that range, Tesla vehicles use active cooling systems that manage heat during driving, charging, and periods of inactivity. These systems function automatically and with little noise, which is why many owners rarely think about them. When operating as intended, there are typically no visible signs that temperature management is taking place. Changes within cooling systems tend to occur gradually. Reduced effectiveness does not usually trigger immediate warnings or noticeable changes in daily driving behavior. Instead, temperature regulation can become less consistent over extended periods. When that happens, the battery may spend more time outside its ideal operating range, increasing gradual wear, even though performance and range appear unchanged in the short term. This habit centers on awareness rather than direct action. Drivers are not expected to adjust settings or perform technical checks themselves. Recognizing that cooling systems play a central role in long-term battery health encourages timely inspection during routine service. Identifying issues early helps preserve stable operating conditions without interruption. Understanding that temperature management is continuously active in the background supports informed ownership and protects systems that quietly influence how the vehicle ages over time. The bottom line: vehicles that remain reliable over long periods are rarely the result of rigid rules or extreme practices. More often, they reflect steady habits shaped by an understanding of how systems function and allowing those systems to operate within their intended limits. Teslas that reach high mileage tend to follow this pattern. Their owners did not significantly alter how often they drove or managed the vehicle with constant attention. They made informed choices that reduced unnecessary strain over time. Nothing discussed requires changing everyday use. Routine driving, regular travel, and normal convenience all fit within long-term ownership when basic operating considerations are respected. The value lies in recognizing how repeated patterns influence the vehicle gradually, well before problems become visible. Taken together, these habits work in combination. Each one appears minor on its own, but over many years they support consistency, reliability, and confidence. Longevity is not about perfect behavior. It is about allowing well-designed systems to age evenly and predictably. For those who find clear long-term ownership guidance useful, subscribing remains an option for future practical Tesla Care insights.